This week I spent 72 hours only eating Tesco Finest Food. Tesco Finest is their luxury range. The packaging is black, the ingredients are fancy, and the prices are often absurd. Some items cost over £15, £20, £25 each. For what? We'll find out. 3 meals a day, every bite has to be from the Finest range, and we're going to see if it's actually worth it. Naturally, this started with a trip to Tesco the night before the challenge started.
Theoretically, this should be a really good week.
The Zapper thing said hi, and I was off on the hunt for the finer things in life.
We will get some chili relish though, and maybe some cheddar and onion crisps.
Some items did seem kind of extortionate for the price they were charging.
I'm sorry, but £7.50 for some pork chops on sticks with some seasoning? Come on, Tesco.
There were lots of very yummy looking baked goods.
Okay, so this is my kind of section. Okay, so what I don't know, do Tesco do Finest fruit and veg? I hope so. Let's see. Okay, so they do. I bet those grapes taste like normal grapes.
I searched around for more Finest veg before moving on to the meat and the Finest steakhouse, where everything costs more than my kidney. Even just hams were a silly price, but so much was out of stock. People clearly love Finest.
This place is oddly popular. Beef brisket though. Yum.
I grabbed some rigatoni, checked out some desserts.
It is disgusting how much this stuff has cost me. And I'm hoping it's worth it.
Genuinely, this Finest stuff was so popular as even all the salads were sold out.
The thing I found most enlightening about this shop is how much of the Tesco Finest is sold out. People like it. People are spending money on this. It's interesting to see.
And with that, we were stocked up with a very Finest and very expensive looking fridge. I'll tell you how much it all cost right at the end. Morning came and it was time to get started.
Are the next 72 hours going to go well? Yeah. I feel like I'm going to eat very well today. The Tesco Finest yogurt, but £1, man. £1 for a yogurt. I mean, it's a tasty yogurt, right? But £1. You can buy a whole tub of yogurt for that. £2 blueberries now.
The yogurt was nice, the blueberries, blueberry-ish?
Definitely tasty. But you don't need to be spending the extra money on this.
I had a sourdough crumpet. These were £1 for 6. It felt like a normal crumpet. Tasted like it too. Look, I love sourdough, but this tasted like a crumpet. At this point you're just paying for the word sourdough. Before lunch I decided to try the new Oblivion remaster.
Hey Riley.
Before tucking into those crisps I got. I built myself a sandwich of Finest ciabatta, Finest cheddar, Finest brisket and the Finest chili relish.
I will say, for the price they're paying, you do get a lot of beef brisket. Let's at least try this cheddar. I mean, it's a nice cheddar, but just buy a normal one.
It looked delicious, that's for sure. And you know, it was a great sandwich, but I guarantee you could make this sandwich for half the cost. These ingredients have no place being as expensive as they are. They really don't. Afternoon came and it was time to mow the lawn, but I only had one battery, so I had to leave this big patch, which was annoying.
Mate, that's sweaty work.
So I took Riley for a walk whilst the battery recharged.
If I only ate Tesco Finest, would I officially be posh?
Riley enjoyed her time cooling off on the walk, and then pretty much nothing happened until it was time for dinner. It's a Sunday. I don't do much on Sundays.
You're very politely asking for dinner. It's a bit early, isn't it?
No, what she was actually asking for is for you guys to subscribe. Don't do it for me, do it for Riley. Just look at that face. Anyway, dinner, where it was time for fish cakes with a bit of tabbouleh. Now, I've had these fish cakes many times. Caroline and I were fish cake obsessed for a long time. We had these pretty much once a week for close up to 2 years.
At least I think I've had these before. It's different packaging. So unless they've changed their packaging, maybe I haven't. I don't know.
So I got them cooking.
This, on the other hand, I think I've barely ever had this before. Tabbouleh. Hopefully it goes with fish. Oh, well, no, we'll find out.
And now what's nice about this challenge too is it's not just me eating it all. Carolina is also joining me, which is great because half the time I do these challenges, the budget challenges and things like that, she doesn't want to join, which is understandable. But something like this, Tesco Finest, or when we do the M&S stuff, naturally she wants to join in, so she does. But it's nice because we don't like eating apart. Whilst everything cooked, the animals had their dinner, and then Riley went out to play with her favourite new toy, the sprinkler. Shortly after, the fish cakes were ready. Normally when we do this dinner, we do it with the salad. Annoyingly, all of the finest salads were gone. They were out. Sold out. Sold out. People are loving a finest salad. But we got it with tabbouleh. And I think that looks mighty fine. These fish cakes were as good as ever, and before long, it was time to wind down for the evening, which included the usual game of living room fetch. Hey Queenie, how are you? You just follow me everywhere, don't you? Well, I suppose that's good, because people enjoy seeing you apparently. What do you have to say for the people? Riley says hi. And then it was time for dessert. Got these little banoffee tart things. That does look pretty good. I mean, it's good. No, yeah, it's pretty banging. £2.90 spenny though, but a little dessert for a couple of people. Yeah, it's alright. The banana's crunchy, which I kind of like. Morning came and I was woken up by Cleo, as usual. You're rude. And started the day with the world's most overpriced porridge oats. These better be the best damn porridge oats I've ever had. They taste exactly like that large bag of porridge oats that you can get for under £1 at Tesco. Wouldn't recommend. It was also now Monday, so I had to do some work. I'm currently working on a true crime documentary, so this is me filming some drama reconstruction. Yep, this is a close-up of a forensic examination of some welly boots. TV isn't as glamorous as people think. Now I had to run into town for a few things, and that involved going to Asda, where I saw these terrifying gnomes for £39. No, but genuinely, why? Why would you want those in your garden? I don't get it. It was just to get the animals some food, but also it was post-Easter and I had to get myself a little treat. I mean, obviously not for this video, but who's going to pass up on a £1.28 Lindt bunny? A large one too. Back at home, it was now lunchtime where I had this Tesco Finest pizza to try. Also, it says use by. And that was yesterday. I'm not having this debate with you guys again. I'm just going to cook the whole thing, leave it in the fridge, have some for breakfast tomorrow or something like that, I don't know. With breakfast, with lunch, with dinner. But we're going to have half now. That's it. Pizza cooked, and then I had it with this finest coleslaw that was a whole £1.10, which just tasted like normal coleslaw. But the pizza slapped. Ate it outside while Riley enjoyed the sun. 10 out of 10 moment. I had one more cheeky slice before heading upstairs, yoink, where I saw my darling kitty having a nap. I can't help but gush at this cat. I then spent the rest of my lunch break making the bed like the domestic king that I am, then finished work and prepared dinner. So dinner tonight, these absolutely insane looking sausages, these fancy mushrooms, fancy sauce for pasta, and some fresh egg rigatoni. Gonna make a sausage pasta. Get to do some actual cooking. It's kind of cool. I got cooking, chopping up these mushrooms, taking the sausage meat out of one of the sausages before cooking it all up with the nice finest pasta sauce and serving it with the fresh pasta and some finest cheese grated over the top. It looked fantastic. And it was easily one of the best things I'd eaten so far. Sometimes expensive meat is worth it. And these sausages were definitely worth the price. We paid for them £4, so £1 a sausage. I say it's worth it. It was an evening walk for Riley, which really pooped her out, before onwards to a new day and breakfast where I just had some crumpets again. Are you joining me for breakfast? Cleo and I enjoyed the crumpets. Riley got jealous. I gave in. Cuddles were had. We were at a point where I was starting to reuse things too, so I cooked up my final sausage, the rest of my mushrooms, and got out this gorgeous sourdough that Carolina picked up, and happened to be finest. Quick question. If you just cut some bread on a cutting board, do you wash it, or do you just go like that? Same with a bread knife. Do you wash it,
Or do you just wipe the crumbs off? Let me know in the comments below.
I built my food, a layer of chili relish, the mushrooms, and topped with half a sausage, and again, this was fantastic. These sausages, can't stress this enough, they're a must-buy product for me.
That's one pretty good looking lunch if I don't say so myself. Similar ingredients to yesterday, just bread instead of pasta. Bread that cost £2.35. I mean, that is very tasty. And the quality of bread is good. When I can't be bothered to make it, I'm always prepared to spend good money on a good quality bread. So I think it's worth it. I'll tell you what though, we've got such good use over the last few days out of this chilli chutney. And it's gonna last for ages. I'm a happy camper today. Great lunch.
And finally we headed to the final meal, and for this I decided if we're going Tesco Finest, then we need to go as bougie as possible, right? There are these items that cost a silly amount of money, so let's try one. For this I had the £16.50 Osso Buco. Yes, you heard that, £16.50. For one item. Had that with some rare bit dauphinoise potato and some sprouts with cavolo nero.
It's bougie day today. Bougie to go out on. Buy the most bougiest thing. This is expensive. This is not cheap. This is very, very expensive. This is also expensive. Not cheap. Very expensive. Do you know what? This is also pretty expensive. When in Rome, right? Try the finest of all Tesco Finest.
I got it all cooking, had a cheeky slice of leftover pizza.
Don't tell Carolina.
Before serving it all up, and let me tell you, this was amazing. Look, this isn't a food shop item, this is a treat yourself at home for a bit cheaper than going out to eat item. And if you look at it in that regard, it's worth every penny.
This is super expensive, but it's very, very, very nice.
It's a beef bone marrow.
I think for the price, yes, it's nice to go out to eat, but this was really, really easy to make, and it probably cost me the same amount as it would for just one meal, but I've got it for two people. So if you want a cozy night in and you want some bloody lovely food, maybe treat yourself, because this is quite frankly exceptional.
So after 72 hours of Tesco Finest and still with a lot of food left over, I had spent a grand total of, are you ready? £65.85 for 3 days. Yeah, that is a lot of money. This range isn't for your average food shop, unless you're Jeff Bezos. And if you are, hi Jeff, please subscribe. For everyone else, save the finest for a little treat every now and then. The cheaper stuff is honestly just as good, except the sausages. Buy those sausages.